Whoa. Welcome. Oh, shit. Got the lights. Oh, shit. Oh, probably because I don't have it on. Don't. Here we go. Starting off like that, are we? Can hear it in the background. Oh, there we are. That's why we're sitting in silence in the dark. How lovely way to start the show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Media Farm, where we grow the hits. The Outhouse podcast, where we talk shit about shit. Gary's there. I didn't get to count down. Yeah. Welcome, everybody that's not there yet. Welcome, everybody that's going to be there. Remember that the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the Outhouse podcast, its affiliates, its guests, or even us. It's just for entertainment purposes. That was a failed attempt. But it was like a boomerang. That was my left hand. Let's try the right hand. Another failed attempt. Can't blame it on a fan because the fan's under the table.
You want me to try? I might get a little bit better at it.
Break the glass. Right there.
How do you know for sure? How do you ever really know?
That was pretty decent.
I was going to say, well, maybe it's the fan under the table, but how could that be the case? One more time? You can get it. You can get it.
Oh. That was rough.
I don't have my freaking phone either. Who's all out there in chat? I got to get my phone. I see Otto's with us. It's couples night. And then there's somebody else in there that I can't recognize. Let me get my phone so I can read the chat. Turn this shit down. And all that salt of jive. Can't do nothing. It won't let me do nothing. Oh, there it goes. Do that. Do this. Oh, there ain't that yet. Don't have a notification. Oh, there it is. What's up, everybody? What a doodoo. Like to welcome back as a... Whoa. Got no owl. What's going on here? Alright, just had to make some adjustments. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Let me put my all messages. I guess it must be turned down. Alright, like I was saying. We have previous guests back to co-host. It's Jada. Over there in the co-host chair.
What's it?
And she had a little bit of a fun time over the snow holiday. She played chicken with a snowplow and did not win.
One way of putting it.
But she's back. She's strong.
A few broken
She's a
bones
beast.
later. I don't call myself a beast. I call myself a Clydesdale horse.
There you go. In other words, she's strong. She beat it through. She's still doing some therapy. She's still beat up a little bit, but she's here with us, thank God.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of ugly at first.
Yeah.
You don't want to play chicken with a snowplow, trust me.
Get your brakes changed, people. Get your brakes
Yeah,
changed.
get your brakes checked. That's what it was. It wasn't that they actually played chicken with a snowplow. It had a brake malfunction, which kind of sucks. It doesn't kind of sucks. Completely sucks. Is that a terrifying experience you'd like to share with us, or do you just want to move on from something like that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it's really ever something I'm gonna move on from. It's gonna be a big part of the story for a while, for my life for a while.
Well, I just meant move on like you don't want to talk about it right now.
Oh, I don't care. I don't mind. It is kind of an elephant in the room. I heard I was wanted back after that guest podcast that Haley and I did.
Absolutely.
I heard the audience.
Yep.
I was summoned, and I'm here.
For sure.
But yeah, so mid to end January, out in the country in the morning, going down a country road. Lost brakes. I wasn't the driver, obviously, but we ended up losing the brakes. Couldn't have been going no more than 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We definitely could have been going faster. I don't know. We were coasting down the hill.
But you probably wasn't going too fast because the roads were shitty and all that type of shit.
It was perfectly clear.
Oh, was it? Oh, gotcha. Look
It was
at me.
perfect. No, it's all good.
Spreading false information.
Well, you know, that was just a few days before the big snowstorm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
For some reason, in my mind, I thought that it was terrible out. And
everybody thought that.
Yeah.
So it's even the doctors. They were like, were you involved in the snowstorm? I'm like, no, it was literally a few days. So they were salting the roads to prepare for
gotcha.
that. Anyway, we were going into oncoming traffic. We were supposed to stop at the big old red octagon down the hill, but we didn't make it in time, and we veered left. I passed out on impact. Broken femur, nose, cheek, fibula, arm. So I just got out of intense rehab a few days ago, but I'm walking. I just don't like sitting around, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that shit sucks.
Yeah, horrible. But really through it all, I'm like, I can walk. I can
Right.
move, like...
Yeah, it could have been way, way worse.
Yeah, in the rehab facility, I really didn't understand the gravity of the situation going through the hospitals and seeing all the doctors and them saying, like, oh, you're so lucky. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, luck, I don't know. Blessed, sure. But luck, I don't know. Until I got to the rehab facility, I mean, I was sitting next to amputees and doing the same leg exercises as them, and
Right.
I was like,
whoa, that's when it hit you, huh? You said, I could be me right there.
yeah, and an amazing facility I was at, thanks to my parents, but just, I mean, things can change in a real instant, you know what I mean?
Now.
Obviously, we all know that, but you never know until you're in the situation.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a situation like that to make the light bulb go off, go, wait a minute, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Shit could be just uprooted in a second.
And if anybody's familiar with the country area of Carrollton, that's where we were at. So that's where all the semis are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Primarily, they pass through, and thank God it wasn't a semi, and it was just a garbage truck-sized, truck, but
just a regular salt truck, basically. The bigger ones. The bigger one's bigger than a pickup truck, but not no big ass thing.
Exactly. So the front end of the car is pretty much a soda can. It's totaled, but it's all good. We're here. We're up. We're moving and grooving. And it's almost time for Bigfoot hunting season. So I'll be out there this time around with you guys. Oh yeah.
Down at camp.
It's definitely, isn't that crazy? This accident has made me believe in other things. Weird,
I was going
right?
to get into that here later and ask you about that, how you've, because the weird thing about that stuff is the more you get into it and try to disprove it, the more you go like, wait a minute, there's fucking something here to this. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't have all those people running around, you know what I mean, traumatized or not, something's going on. There's physical evidence being left, so, I don't know. On some things. I don't believe all things, and I don't believe, there's a lot of people running around doing false things and making AI videos and diluting what the truth is, you know what I mean, which sucks, but unfortunately that's happening.
But I don't know, you would say AI is diluted? the different conspiracy theories that are out there?
Yeah, because they're making AI videos of flying saucers and Bigfoot and all the shit.
So you think
and
it's
they're looking
organic?
so real that now when you have a real one, somebody's like, it's just AI. You know what I mean? It's like which, yeah, I don't know.
That's a decent point, because I really didn't understand just how invasive AI was until you kind of are like, oh, AI could do this job, or AI can dilute or make gimmick out of, real conspiracy theories that are out there because of what you said. I mean, I'm like, that's a weird way to use AI, I guess.
Right.
That's in my opinion.
Because me, as much as I believe in all that crazy shit, I believe that most of what's out there is bullshit. It really is. It's not. I don't know. It's just not. There's so much fakery, and even before, AI, people are starting to get good with the regular CGI. You know what I mean? They was getting real good with that shit with some of this fakery shit, and then when AI hit, that was just now they can do it real easy. There's a video.
Yeah.
Real quick.
So then, I guess a big question is, especially when I was here previously, is how are you someone who's had a real experience, right, and wants to share their story and goes to do background research to find others with similar stories, how are they supposed to sort through the real and the fake with everything out there that you're talking about?
Well, that depends on each individual situation, because if it's you sitting down with the person, I don't know why I feel like I'm way in the background. Hello. If it's you interviewing the person or talking to this person that has this experience, you know what I mean? It's kind of like reading somebody. When you're sitting there and they're telling you the story, you know whether they're bullshitting or they're not. Because the real people that actually experienced it don't give a fuck if you believe them or not. I don't care if you believe me. This is what happened. You can believe what you want to believe, but this happened to me, and think what you want to think.
So the power behind the vibe, the power behind the words. Okay, the story. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, like I said, there's a lot of people that they just look at somebody's story and they'll, I had this experience and blah, blah, blah. But, when you're talking to somebody that has a real experience, man, their hairs stand up on their arms and shit, and you can see, like, in their eyes, you can see that whatever happened to them really happened. You know what I mean? Whatever the hell it was, whether they seen a Bigfoot, UFO, was abducted, whatever the case may be, they lived it. Because you can feel that, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell when somebody's, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. And I'm real critical myself on that shit, man. Even your mom be like, check this out. I'm like, because one thing, this old guy was supposedly knew all this shit and was in the military and had all this information.
Good background. I like that. It sounds truthful so far.
Right. And he did this and he did that, and he was involved in this little group that, did this, and they did all these things. Well, I come from family with military background. I have cousins, friends, and I've watched a lot of shit. And the first thing that I noticed that this old man did not have was he didn't abbreviate nothing. And when you're in the military, them motherfuckers abbreviate everything they talk about. I was over at the MPC, and we did 5 clicks to the YCW, and everything's a abbreviated thing with them. That dude, we was over down in the holler, by God, chasing that wolf man. He was like, come on, bro. Me and my military buddies, by God, we had our 30-06 and some bitch, we was chasing it.
So it's clear bullshit.
Come on, man.
Okay. Gotcha.
So he sat around, in my opinion, I don't know, maybe dude did, but to me it sounds like he read a whole bunch of people's stories, and now he's running around saying that he's one of these people. I'm not saying that what his stories are not true, but I don't think he experienced them. He's not giving me the information that I need for his credibility for him to be doing it.
Gotcha.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying his stories aren't true, because hey, I'm like, I'll listen to anything and I'll investigate anything. But I'm not one to be like, oh, I seen a shadow in the woods. It was a Bigfoot. Nah. I got to have proof. I want to see footprints. I want to see it. I don't want to, oh, was that a shadow? What was that? Nah, that's not proof to me.
Okay.
You seen a shadow. Now, maybe you seen a shadow, but that don't mean you seen a Bigfoot. That don't mean you seen whatever.
So then what about some of the stories that you might believe are true, some of the testimonies that you've heard about Bigfoot, where they might have only seen, out in the forest line somewhere of trees moving back and forth or the brush moving back and forth, and they wholeheartedly believe, or the noises they heard with that stuff, they wholeheartedly believe that it was Bigfoot.
Right.
Do you discredit that?
Well, I don't discredit it, but
okay.
I kind of put that on the because you don't have physical evidence.
But you have to educate me here. I don't know of anybody, and I'd like for you to, maybe give a personal example or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know of anyone who has ever produced real evidence of Bigfoot, whether that's audio, pictures, vids, whatever the case may be.
There's lots of it out there.
Do you have any personal?
I do. I have
so
audio.
You have like real experience of seeing. It doesn't have to be Bigfoot.
No, I haven't seen nothing. I've never seen any Bigfoot or nothing like that I know of. Now, had they been out there, because like I've said before, we used to go hunting down in Conshohocken and this property that's called Ohio Power property, and it's like vast acres. Like, I mean, you get out there and there's fucking nothing. And not only that, Conshohocken is one of the hot places where Bigfoot's at. And back then I was 12, 13 years old, so that didn't even cross my mind when we was there. We had dogs, so they wouldn't have came up on us, because the dogs, and I don't really ever remember the dogs acting funny, but then again, I was a kid and wouldn't have related it if they did. Right. But one of the things that I will say is the old guy that we went hunting with, and these Bigfoot guys that go out and go in the woods, they find these trees that are bent over. And some of them are just bent over from the roots that's already there and bent over and entangled in these other trees in such a way that nature could never do it. Some of them are ripped out of the ground, stuffed upside down in the tree, and then bent over in this weird way. But there's these arches that they make. And I do remember seeing those arches, but he used to tell us, oh, that's what the native Indians used to do that. Oh. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And we'd go up, oh yeah, you call them bending trees. And this, you go up to the tree and you bend it down. So me, as a young boy, 13, whatever it was, 12, I'd climb up them little trees and bend them down and let them go. I didn't tie them down and never thought nothing more about it. But then as I got just recently started thinking about all this shit, time out. Hold on. These are little trees, you know what I mean? And so big, they're not that old to where these natives bent these trees over and they're now this big around as they should be if that was the case. These were smaller trees and shit. So I was like, well, wait a minute now. So there's that. But I'm not saying it was a Bigfoot. I was too young. I just remember seeing those, and that kind of relates to some of this shit that these people say they see in the woods.
Right.
We did hear, now they say that Bigfoot mocks all these different other animals, all kinds of birds, wolves, owls, all kinds of shit that they mock. We used to hear dogs barking back in those woods. Now, why there would be dogs miles from civilization, and like where we go to camp down in Wayne National Forest, there's a house here, house there. It's not like nowhere land. Where we was camping was nowhere land. And you would hear these dogs off in the distance all the time. And now thinking back on that, I think, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they was just dogs. You know what I mean? But when I think back on that, it's kind of weird. What would dogs be doing out in the middle of nowhere?
So let me ask you, and you have to be real here. Like, I get it. You're this like bravado macho guy, but like, let's be so honest. Listen, and also,
I'm missing on. Sorry, chat. I'm bullshitting and not paying attention. Go ahead.
I want to know if those experiences that you had, not when you were a kid, but kind of more recently in the past 10 years when you went camping, etc., or in your backyard, whatever the case may be, when you've come across those experiences with saucers or hearing those strange noises or seeing those shadows of possibly Bigfoot, Wolfman, aliens, whatever the case may be. You're telling me that didn't strike any kind of concern. Doesn't have to be fear, but you weren't scared that there's, to you, that there is other things out there that
like
aren't human.
Being out there, you mean? Like being scared to be out there?
Being in the presence of it. Whatever it may be. The saucer, Wolfman, Bigfoot, whatever the case may be. How could that not? So you're telling me, and this is just, now I'm going to kind of get a little weird, and you have to educate me here because I have no clue about anything. Personally, I think Bigfoot low-key gives demonic. Low-key. Not in like a bad way. Like, the stories, etc., have never rubbed me in the way of like demons, spiritual, but it's just scary for me. I'm not like,
well, there's some people that have that, what you're talking about, like they've had the experience and it was awful for them.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And there's people that had the experience and was like, oh my God. So there's been both sides of the experience that people claim they get attacked. I have never had an experience, so I don't.
With like, any celestial life, any experience.
Only thing I've seen shit in the skies.
What is that? What does that give you? What do you feel?
I just be like, damn, what was that? It's like, wow, because I don't know what it is. I feel like what I'm seeing in the sky don't necessarily mean it's some alien in a UFO craft. I think probably 90% of what we're seeing in the sky flying around there that we can't identify is the United States government.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can definitely agree with you there.
That's how I feel. There's that 10% that's all that other shit that we don't know. Well, we don't know about. They know about, because clearly with that Obama saying, did you see that where he said aliens are real, but he don't know where they're at or whatever?
No, I don't recall.
So he was on this podcast and he goes, yeah, aliens are real, but they're not hiding them. I don't think they're hiding them out in Area 51 or whatever. He goes, he says, that place, and dude says, Area 51, yeah, that place, as if he didn't know. And then they talked to Trump, and he said that he fucked up because that's giving classified information out, that he wasn't supposed to do that. And then he said that now he's going to have to release more files to declassify so Obama don't get in trouble. That's what Trump said. I
feel like the United States citizens are entitled to that information if we're living on the same planet.
And I guess they just released a bunch of shit again.
That's what it should be. Just like the Epstein files, everything should be released.
Absolutely.
That's my personal opinion.
No, I agree. And I think they should release everything, no redacted shit. They should find out what everybody, and I don't care if it's Trump, Clinton, whoever. If you did that evil, dirty shit, you need to. They need to take you out to a firing squad, or I think hang you right on the square in front of everybody would be a perfect punishment.
Bring this shit back to the 1800s.
Hell yeah.
100%.
If you want to do that shit to people, I don't agree. I don't care what side of the fence you're on.
For sure.
That's evil shit, and we should not tolerate it, period. But I feel like I don't think any of them is going to get in trouble for it.
No, these are rich politicians. They're gonna fucking people
figure out a way to, hey, look over here, and pretty soon everybody, what do you mean the Epstein files?
Yeah, you got a point. There will be some big, like what's happening in Mexico right now. They're trying to fucking distract us. Right. But wait a minute, I kind of stepping away from the celestial, I want to go back to the comment that was made about the CIA and then
play Columbia how.
So you said that some of the stuff you see or have seen, you believe, is the government either looking at us, tracking us, whatever the case may be. And I want to know from the audience, too. Personally, I have zero issue, and I don't understand why others would have an issue with the government watching us. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they catch people?
That's not the fact. The problem is these motherfuckers have this technology that's free power, anti-gravity.
Yeah, okay.
That could be helping the entire world, and they're keeping it from us. That's the problem.
But what about in a... I don't think it's an issue, though, Because what if we went to a third world war, right? We would need that material that isn't sourced or used by other countries. I'm sure it is, but let's say it wasn't used by any other third world country that we would be going to war with. That would be an asset for us. It's not available to every. Not only that, though.
But the problem with it is we're not the only ones with it. Russia and China's got the technology
Probably.
also. There's no probably. They do.
Okay, that's totally fine.
I mean, there's.
But why does the common man need it?
You wouldn't like free electricity?
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like gadgets and shit like that.
No, I'm talking about free energy. They've got it. They have it. That's what that shit is. What you're looking at in the sky is basically free energy. They've figured it out.
That's like saying, why haven't we found the cure for AIDS, cancer?
They have it.
I know. Yeah, it's a business to keep people in the dark.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
that's what it's all about. If they give us free, in fact, me and my buddy was talking about that today. He was in the Navy, and he said on those big aircraft carriers, all their trash and shit, they have an incinerator on there that they go and burn it and regenerates power.
Oh, that's really cool.
Now imagine if we had all that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're dumping all of our fucking trash into landfills, and we could be incinerating it and getting free power. I said, hey, buddy, as soon as you figure out how to charge for free power, you got it.
Right.
Because they're not going to give you free energy because they're making millions off of oil and coal and all the other shit we use to make energy with. That's the problem. And those vehicles that we're seeing flying around up there that we don't know what is, runs off of that technology.
So you're a socialist?
Nah. I just feel like
Peter, that's okay. That's a good thing.
Nah, I don't feel like the government should step in and take control of everything. I think free energy that would solve a lot of problems.
That's a huge thing though, free energy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what would be bigger, allowing free oil or free energy. I don't know what would cause more conflict between the two. I think free energy probably would. I don't know. I'm sorry, I just had to go. I just was curious. Very curious.
It says Tesla could transfer energy without power lines. Exactly. That's basically kind of the technology that they use.
Okay.
The energy fields and whatnot. It's kind of along those lines.
So I have to go back to the Wolfman too, because I actually just seen that movie a few years ago, and I had never heard about it. Literally, the movie The Wolfman. That's a real thing. Like, that's a real conspiracy thing out there. Mm-hmm. This isn't just some made up.
Right. Well, actually, there's like two. Bigfoot. There's actually supposedly a Wolfman and a Dogman. They're different.
Never heard of the Dogman. Okay.
Yeah, supposedly they're different now.
Okay. So there's no way you'd be a little scared if you actually came
face to face?
Maybe not face to face.
Is that what you're saying?
Football fields, and you knew it was Bigfoot, Dogman, Wolfman. You're telling me you
now? See, Bigfoot. I don't know. I would probably just be like, wow. Now, if it was the Dogman or the Wolfman, I'd probably be a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I'd probably be like, oh shit. And but see, I don't go out in the woods without a firearm.
I was just gonna say, you think bullets are gonna take that thing down?
Ain't no way. Well, I don't know. But I'm not going to shoot at it football fields away. I'm going to wait till it's right between me and you and put one right between his eyes, actually about 5 or 6.
Do you think bullets would take a big...
When I shoot, if it lives and breathes, I will take it down with a bullet.
So you're... think that's like saying...
If I shoot you in the eye, I don't care how big you are, you're going down.
Well, we have different bone structure, bone thickness, right? Versus... something like a Bigfoot.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
If you shot a gorilla, like a huge king gorilla, right? It would take a few.
You're right. If you shoot it in the chest or anywhere, it's going to get pissed. You're not going to do nothing to it unless you got a real big gun. So you shoot that motherfucker in the eye, two things are going to happen. If you don't kill it, do you think it's going to come at me with a bullet in its eye?
What? You think that thing would run away?
Hell yeah. If it got shot in the eye, shit.
You think that thing would run away?
Yeah, I do. I don't think it would run away. I think it would drop to the ground because I'm shooting it in if it's a flesh animal and you shoot it in the eye.
All that muscle it's got to rip through.
Man.
Skull as big as heck.
And I'm not, like I said, it's not pow.
You're going to empty the clip.
Oh, yeah, I'm unloading.
I don't think that clip would work. I'll be honest. 16, 17, whatever.
Well,
extra in the
I mean,
chamber.
at that point, well, then it is what it is. You know what I'm right. I mean, next move is get the machete out.
Yeah.
Because I always have a knife or something like that, too.
Because I also am thinking about the story. Now, I have heard the stories about the bears, like being out in the forest and being attacked by bears from experienced hunters.
El Chupacabra.
Oh, Chupacabra too. Okay, now we're getting some stuff flowing. That's what I mean. Like, if a man can narrowly escape from a brown bear, black bear, whatever, you think shots off.
If you're running from one of these, you ain't got a chance.
They were fighting back, is what I'm saying. People have been found dead from brown and black experienced hunters. So if you can't get past, for the most part, a brown black bear in an area that you're experienced with, what makes you think you can get past a Bigfoot?
If they would have shot that bear in the eyeball, I doubt it would have kept attacking them.
I don't. But you're shaky as heck. Probably.
Right. Oh,
I'd be scared.
No doubt.
I'd be
Ain't
scared.
no doubt.
I don't know if my bullet would go straight to the eye. It might go around. Might send a few rounds behind it, to the side of it, and maybe one.
And even that shot might scare it away, that first shot. More than likely, like I tell your mom, all animals are more scared of us than we are them.
Fair. True.
If you ain't got a bear's, the only reason them animals are even going to mess with you is if you got food laying around. Like a bear, he's going to come into your camp. If you got a shit in the cooler or whatever, he's going to come in and get that food. That's just natural. But if the only reason they would attack you is because of their young. Other than that, them son of bitches will run from you. Unless they're completely starving. Which is, the bears around here ain't like, if you're out in Alaska and you got them big ass, brown grizzlies and shit, you might run into a hungry one. But
gosh.
Even at them, they normally don't even chase off after you. It's very rare.
I just don't understand people like you who like to go out into other animals' homes and feel so. You guys have no, it seems like you guys just aren't scared. Like, whatever comes.
It is.
We're
Because
locked
you
and
can't
loaded.
be. Yep. Exactly. You can't be sitting there in fear because,
Yeah.
it is what it is. And one thing I believe, Jesus. So I got him on my side. So if it's anything evil, I do not fear it whatsoever. Come on, bring it.
That's a natural instinct, though.
Because here's the thing. Nobody ever thinks all this or that and the other. If there's a devil, then that automatically proves God. And he don't want to know that God is real. So these son of a bitches ain't going to show themselves to me, because that's just going to make more proof for me that it is a real thing. Not that I don't believe, but that's just more proof. Because if you're here, then he's there.
Yeah.
So you ain't got me, motherfucker. He's got my side. You ain't got shit. Move the fuck on. And if it is a living, breathing creature, then it's going to bleed.
Right.
And, more than likely they're not going to mess with you. Like I said, if they're super hungry, you got food laying out, that's one thing. But, if I'm in the woods and I'm camping, I'm out. But I will say I sleep much better when there's a dog there than not. Because a dog will let you know when something's 50 yards away.
You guys don't bring a dog, though, do you?
Well, the last time we did, Dennis brought his dog, which that dog was scared of its own shadow, but it still let you know when there's something there.
Dog wasn't worth a damn.
No, it really is, because it hears, you know what I mean? It'll sit there and growl if something's around, you know what I mean? And the big thing about those cryptid things is when you're in the woods, you hear all kinds of wild-ass shit at nighttime, animals, crickets, just all kinds of shit. When something weird's around, everything goes silent.
Oh.
Yeah, it gets deathly quiet. And then when it gets freaky quiet, that's when you got to go, uh-oh. Get the flashlights out, pull the piece out, like, what's going on?
Has that happened a couple of times?
I can't say that I've ever been in the woods where it just got weirdly quiet. I've never been in the woods and felt weird. So I've never had that like, oh, somebody's watching me. Never.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I guess just the total darkness. I'm also not into like fear stuff, so that's just me. I'm scared of everything. Tell you the truth.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't go to the woods unarmed.
Yeah.
And I tell you that what's crazy is the worst thing to fear is people. People is the most fucking fucked up thing on the planet, and they're worse than the animals. You gotta worry about these crazy fucking people out there trying to hunt you down. Oh, I ain't never hunted a human. There's some campers down there. That's why I don't like never going like with just a couple of us. I always like having a few tents and a few peoples. Because when there's more than just a few people, there's less somebody's going to mess with you. There's more people that, you got to have a bus full of people to take on a camp.
Okay. Right.
You know what I mean? See? Instead of one crazy sumbitch, unless he's just out in the woods sniping people when they come out their tents, or, there's weird people, man. And I fear that more than anything. People.
Fair enough.
I mean...
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Them crazy white people with them guns.
Hills have eyes. Wrong
right.
turn. It's always about you guys, white people.
Mm-hmm. Sick bastards. Yeah, Gary, people are the real animals. Exactly.
It's a different perspective.
But we're definitely, we're ready to... Now, this time, we're going to go down to Seneca Lake instead of our normal camp.
Where's Seneca Lake?
Because camp is an hour and basically 20 minutes, or 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is an hour. It's straight down 77 an hour and over 15 minutes or something. My buddy Dennis lives down in Seneca, and he said we can go camp at the lake and shit and do some fishing and stuff.
Oh, okay.
We can't shoot no guns there, but we can do some fishing.
Man, I've been wanting to
and
get
that's a Bigfoot. He said that they actually got a trail called Bigfoot Trail or something down there, and that's right below Salt Fork, which is the big Ohio. Everybody comes from all over the world for the damn Bigfoot conference they have there every year.
Oh, okay. I was gonna. You never went to Hawking Hills?
Yeah, I've been up there.
You don't like it?
No, that's a great place.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's a pretty cool place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for the Bigfoot.
I was just there for the trails and whatnot. Yeah,
but it's pretty dope.
It's sweet. Yep. I love all that stuff.
I'm getting into it a little bit now because of the accident.
The main thing is even if you go out, it might sound stupid, but go out and go Bigfoot hunting, even if you don't believe in it, because you know what? It's fucking great to be out in the woods, just walking around and
100%.
Getting in touch with nature.
Can't agree more with you there.
I mean, shit.
You're right. Take
your ass out there. You never know what you're going to see when you get out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right. I spend so much time on my phone indoors, shit like that you kind of lose touch with reality.
Right.
I lose touch with reality just a little bit. So you're right. I have been thinking, what's a good way to get grounded with the world that we live in?
Because, we used to do that shit years ago, obviously, because we got camp down there, and, we got out of touch. And there for a while, when my kids was little, we had a campground out at Lake O'Pines for, I don't know, about 5 or 6 years. But then after that, I didn't fish, didn't hunt. I ain't done shit for years. It was just all music and everything else. And, last year was the first year that I actually went out and camped, like for a weekend in probably 25, almost 30 years.
It was refreshing.
Oh, it was fucking fantastic. I'm not wasting no more of my life with this other nonsense. I don't know, I just didn't make time because we was busy doing this, busy doing that. Well, no, I'm making time now. I'm spending time with my friends and family and whoever wants to come join in with us down there and do this thing, because that's way more important to me. Because it's so fun to just sit down there by the campfire, smoking and drinking a little bit, you know what I mean, and talking like we're doing, telling stories, and then it gets late and you're buzzed and you go in the tent and you kick back and you start hearing all this crazy shit, man. It's cool, man. I like it.
I completely agree. Now, I do different type of traveling, like sightseeing, things like that. So I'm not into the nature stuff, but I'm trying to be, obviously. But speaking of Bigfoot hunting, it doesn't give me bad vibes. It's just scary because I don't know. I'm just scared. I'm a scared little girl. That's just what it boils down to. Even if I had my pieces, shotguns, whatever on me, I'm still scared. So, but that is something I want to do. Like those YouTube videos of people, spirit box. It's called like a spirit box. Yep. Them doing that. I've never watched one where they're Bigfoot hunting, but I have seen a spirit box one. That's not my thing.
Now,
but
I watched this guy. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's called The Cameraman, and he's local here in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And I just was watching one earlier today that he just put out. He was out at Berlin Lake walking around there, and I watched like the first 20 minutes of it. They're usually an hour and a half or whatever, but he's always out in the woods, filming daytime, nighttime. But he has this guy that is called MT Paranormal. He's got a channel, MT Paranormal, and he goes out and he's got all that shit when they go Bigfoot hunting. Spirit box and all these little apps on the phone that does all that fucking weird shit.
You're not into the kind of paranormal side of it?
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you feel like it brings bad juju at all?
I don't know. I just don't. I haven't got that far yet because I'm more into the animal part of it than the. Because
there has to be souls out there,
right?
On those shows, you know what I mean? Like that'd be such a neat integration to see if.
Well, there's something.
Ghosts are interacting with Bigfoot in some kind of way. Another thing.
Now I've seen all kinds of that weird shit too, so there's something to it.
Right,
I've seen lots of ghosts actually with witnesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So there is something to that shit too. That's why, there's just like stuff in the sky and just like maybe in the woods, there's some times where you're like, did I just see that? Like you question yourself. Like you'll look up at a star and it'll go, it's like, damn, did I just see that son of a bitch just take off like that? Or did, you know what I mean? Like and same with shadows. In that other house, boy, there's nothing in this house. In this place, there's absolutely nothing. There's no good spirits. There's no bad spirits. There's nothing in this house. There was some crazy shit in the house I moved out of over there on 6th Street. That's all I can say.
That doesn't scare you? That didn't scare you at all?
Well, here's the thing why it didn't scare me. I never got messed with. Like, I never physically got hurt. Nothing like, the ghost didn't try to burn the fucking house down. A knife didn't come flying at me. All it ever was footsteps, knocks, doors closing.
Oh my gosh.
Shadows.
Let me tell you a quick story. This was a few days ago.
Dishes moved around.
That's, maybe it is because, or maybe this is all in my head. I don't know. Anyway, I had just got back from the facility a few days ago. It had to have been maybe the first or second night. Can't remember. Anyway, a few hours. Laying down in bed, really trying to get sleep with all these broken bones. It's hard for me to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I was running off of, I'm just going to chuck it up to I was running off a crappy sleep. I thought I woke up and I was locked, like in a position, and I thought my mom was banging on my door. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's got to be 2-3 a.m. Who was banging on my door, and I couldn't move. It was the weirdest thing. So I'm like, whatever, go back to sleep, even though somebody was banging on my door. Same thing happened. A few seconds later, I woke back up locked. Didn't see anything, completely dark. Wasn't necessarily scared. I was just like, who is pounding on my door? Then it started to hear scratches on my. I'm like, dude, this is trying to get myself up. It was weird. I forget what they call it. Sleep paralysis?
Yeah, sleep paralysis. Yep.
I'm like, I was so shocked though. I'm like, I didn't even get up to look. I'm like, God is with me. Screw that. Like, I knew it wasn't her pounding on the door. Like, I knew it couldn't have been. But I'm like, that was the weird. It really. And then I thought about this podcast. I was like, I personally don't think that was in my head. I really don't. I mean, it was just too real. It's the weirdest thing ever. And when I was close to, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's stories of people saying that they have entities that held them down and that wild shit. Now, Jimmy, my son, claimed that he had that happen over there. That he got held down to the bed and couldn't get up and
He didn't
shit.
see, did he see the entity?
No.
Or it was just like a real...
Just like a weight.
That's gotta... How... I personally, now, since the accident, I just can't chalk it up to, oh, our brain, or, oh, lack of sleep, or, oh, I just can't chalk up the inability to move because you're so scared, feeling like you're being... I just can't chalk that up to, nothing's
Because
happening.
the thing of it is you wasn't that scared, right?
No.
You just kind of woke up and was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like fear. That's kind of like he was. He's like, I couldn't move.
What do you chalk that up to?
I have no idea.
I used to blow that type of shit off. Oh, okay, it's this, it's stress, I don't know anymore.
You know, like I said, if I wouldn't have witnessed this shit myself, I'd be like, But not only me, but I've had people standing there, sitting there, and be like, we'd be sitting there bullshitting, and you'd hear tick, 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 somebody go up or come down the stairs and be like, did you hear that? And they're like, yeah, it sounded like somebody just walked down the steps. Okay, just wanted to make sure you heard it and it wasn't just me. Or you'd hear a door slam upstairs. Boom, door would shut. No windows open because I never have the windows open. I got air conditioner. You know what I mean? In the summertime, in the wintertime, whatever. One time I had a set of keys come up missing. I had this little, like, one of those little TV trays beside me that I always had my stuff on or whatever. And it was actually on this side. Always had my keys right there. We was getting ready to leave. Couldn't find my keys. Looked there 3 or 4 times myself. All the other places, upstairs, downstairs, refrigerator, just, who knows. All these weird places. This other person looks. All these other places. This went on for about an hour and 20 minutes. We come back and sat down, and I looked on this thing, and there was a Taco Bell napkin, unfolded, open, all the way open, on top of everything on this table. And I went and lifted the napkin, and them keys was sitting right there. And this person looked at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, you fucking looked there 3 or 4 times, right? He's like, yeah. I said, so did I. I know, I seen you do it. I seen you do it. Them keys was not there. You know what I mean? Just weird shit. Doorknob, one time that Jimmy was playing his keys, I was in his bedroom, I'm in my bedroom folding laundry, and doorknob going crazy. I'm like, damn. And it used to get stuck. And if you was inside the room, you couldn't get out. And you'd have to come over. So I thought it was him, and I went over and opened it up. Well, first, as that happened, real violently shaking. And I was like, oh, he must need out. And then I was like, wait a minute. He's from here to that guitar away from the door playing his fucking keyboards. And he's playing while this thing's going. And I was like, so I went over there and opened the door. I was like, dude, you didn't wiggle the door handle, did you? I mean, I know you was playing your key. He's like, no, I thought that was you. I was like, nah, dude, I was folding clothes in my bedroom. Like, weird shit like that.
That's insane. You need to tell these stories. So, wait. You were talking about the keys, an hour and 20 minutes. It's definitely interesting that you know the exact time, but there's this, we need to change this music to like spooky music, because I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared. So, there's this thing called the burnt toast theory, and it's where essentially something in the universe, you could say God, you could say nature, you could say the universe, whatever the case may be, is stopping you from going somewhere or doing something for your own protection. Meaning those keys came up missing possibly because...
Right.
So that's the burnt toast theory. But it's just funny how it's kind of intertwined. Maybe there was like a good ghost somewhere, like, I might know what's going to happen in your near future. Let me hide the keys.
Now, I was told there was 2 ghosts in that house by somebody that they claimed to be clairvoyant or whatever. They said that there was 2 ghosts in there, but they wasn't harmful ghosts. Playful,
that's
which
scary.
is exactly what at least the one was. You know what I mean? It definitely was a playful ghost, and it had. And I don't know if there was 2. One of them had something against women, and the other one didn't.
Why do you
or
say
something. Because every woman that came into that house that went upstairs to use the bathroom said they either got touched on the shoulder or pinched on the butt.
Oh, pervert.
Right.
Oh, what type of ghost was that? Wow, okay, misogynistic ghost. That's the first.
So I never got touched over there. I don't think.
Have you've gotten touched though by something before,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a really weird
it's
experience.
freaky as shit.
Yeah.
Cause you feel that motherfucker, and you're like, hey, what the fuck? It's like you feel somebody grab your shoulder and shit, and you turn and look, and there's nobody there. It's like, oh my god, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
I've had that a couple times.
Yeah, that happened when I was in the intense rehab facility. I felt I was wheeling myself to the bathroom when something came and grabbed my shoulder. I was like, oh, I mean, really tight too. It's weird. I just don't see how.
Now, we went down in camp in Marietta, like a mile away from there or something, or maybe 2 miles or something. It's down the road. There's an old ass graveyard, and we went in that. And as I was approaching this one grave, as the closer I got, it was like, oh, it just got super fucking heavy, dude. Like I was just like, almost took my breath away. And I was like, holy shit. And everybody was like, what? I said, I don't know. Something's fucking heavy over here. And I backed away from it. And as I backed away, I could feel it like lifting off of me and shit. And I was like, man, I don't know what that is. And they was like, what? I was like, I don't know. Come over here. And I walked over to it again, and it did it again. And I just couldn't take it. And I had to back away. And then they got there. And by the time they got there, we all walked up again. It was gone. So I don't know what that was, and that's the first time that ever happened to me. Like, and it was just like focused on this one grave. You know, it was really weird. I've been in a lot of graveyards, and I ain't never had that happen. That was weird.
You know what I often think about graveyards? I get scared. First of all, I've never really stepped foot on a graveyard, but I always find it. I don't know, like
we tripped acid in the one beside Mercy Medical all night long. About 6 of us. What an experience that
you know
was.
How they
There's
say,
a
like,
Frankenstein graveyard there. You know that?
No. You know how, like, the old saying, step on a crack, big your mama's back, superstitious stuff? I always found it kind of creepy to, like, step on graves. You know what I mean? Where the headstone is right where that person is buried. I've always found that creepy. That's why I've never stepped foot on a graveyard. I can't. I just get scared. Like, are they going to haunt me for stepping on the grave? I don't know.
Nah, you know, to me, I feel that's stupid to have a grave.
What?
Yeah.
The resurrection, are you crazy? Why would it be stupid to have a grave?
Because you're not coming out of the dirt like that. I think that's more metaphorically or whatever. And even if that holds the person here, so to say, you're going to this thing and you're crying and all this shit. You have to let it go. You have to let them go and go. I feel like that you're holding them back.
But you can say the same thing about an urn, right?
I wouldn't do it.
So what would you do?
I would have them burn me and throw my ashes on a Walmart parking lot.
No, you did not just say that was the most redneck shit I've ever heard in my life.
No, I would, throw them in the woods somewhere or whatever, but please don't hold on to my ashes. Don't put me in a grave nowhere. You should have joined me while I was here. Now I'm gone. Let me go.
So you're saying, like, you feel like it is a literal physical barrier to cross over and unable to cross over to the other side. I never thought about it like that. I've always thought the souls who are stuck here have unfinished business,
and that could be.
Whether it's like a murder that's been unsolved or pain that the family hasn't reconciled with because of that, murder or incident or death, whatever the case may be. That's what I've always thought. But when I think biblically, I think the best form of rest is a grave. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll never know. We'll know soon enough, but
but yeah,
maybe not in my lifetime.
I don't know. I don't want to have that, and then there ain't no reason to have a bunch of dead bodies. I don't know. It's really weird because there's only so many cemeteries.
Yeah.
And McDonald's serves 40 billion. Just McDonald's. That's not counting everybody else. Where's all this beef coming from, huh?
Oh my gosh. That's, I mean, you've heard the stories of the funeral homes burying people and wrong people and burning the wrong people. You might have a point. I don't know.
I don't eat that shit no more. I try not to.
Really?
Yeah, I try not to eat no fast food.
Really? I had a friend who did that, who was really tough on that. I'm like,
man,
good for you.
And don't get me wrong,
discipline.
Like Taco Bell, I used to love that shit. But, in the last, I don't know, it seems like at least 15, if not 20 years, that shit's all changed.
Yeah.
Man. It's like, it's not even, you can tell it's not real food, you know what I mean? And
I agree.
if I eat it, I'm sick. The next, hours later, I'm just like, ugh, and I'm shitting. And it's like, man.
Yep. Just happened the other day. It's actually insane that you say that. I was a really big fast food component prior to the accident. Sorry, I keep bringing it up, but super shitty eater. Fast food damn near every day, anywhere. But I've been on this high protein, low fat diet: steak, salmon, rice. That's
what my brother's doing.
Dude, I went to the mall the other day to get some Chinese food. I was on the toilet shitting my brains out.
Right.
Like, what is it? I don't feel sick. And I thought to myself, it's all that oil and those fucking... Also, when you go to Bella Village Mall, have you noticed that there are Mexicans cooking the Chinese food?
Yeah, there's something weird going on.
That's so weird. That's some weird shit. I just realized that. I was like, what the fuck?
And there's that new taco stand over there, and they're not even Mexican or whatever.
No.
They're like Indian or something weird or whatever.
And the fucking hamburger place is also, well, no, hamburgers are more Americanized.
Right.
They're also Indian.
Right,
yeah.
That Best Burger or whatever. Or not Best Burger,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know what it's called.
Which I had those one time, and the burger's not bad, but then they're like, oh, you want double? Yeah, go ahead, double. You want this? Yeah, I don't want. Time I was out of there, it was like almost $30. I was like, whoa.
I had to have been over that, actually, because just the single was like, what, $18?
God. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'll never eat. I mean, it's not that bad of a burger, but it ain't worth that kind of money.
Dude, a Big Mac meal right now is about, what, $9-10?
At least.
10. No, I think it's 12, actually. $12.49. That's how you know I'm fat.
It's been a while, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like $12.49. That's expensive, is it not?
That's crazy. That's insane.
God. And that's not even for a large, I don't think. I mean, it is insane. You can't even enjoy being poor anymore.
Right.
It's expensive being poor, I guess.
It is. I don't know. It is. It's expensive to be poor. And most people that's working still need government assistance, which is even fucking worse. You go out there and bust your ass and still got to beg the government for some help? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And, I just seen on TikTok, on social media recently, don't know why, but Americans pulling their teeth out at home. That's been going on for years and years and years.
I got touched by uncle. Don't tell nobody.
What?
He said, I got touched by my uncle. Don't tell anybody.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be cremated, and I want to be put in a douche and run through one last time.
That's
some
sick shit. That's some sick shit.
Funny. Otto and them must have took off, huh? I don't know. Andy Edwards. She said she still thinks what the old man was saying was real, what we was talking about earlier, and I said that hillbilly dude that said he was government. No, I agree. What he said, I ain't saying what he said wasn't real. I'm just saying it wasn't him that had the experience. He's full of shit. He's just reading somebody else's stories and acting like it was him. That's all I'm saying.
But do you think there's something necessarily wrong with that? I understand that he's passing it off as his own, right? But maybe that's a way of also getting the word spread out about the conspiracies stories.
If you look at it that way.
But I get what you're saying. Bottom line, it's bullshit.
But and then for that Bigfoot thing, so I was always on the fence with it. When I was a kid and that Patty came out, the original one where it's looking back, you know what I mean? I looked at that for the first time when I seen that. And I knew that was real. I don't know why. I was just like, damn, because it just didn't look like a person in a monkey suit to me. Even though when I seen it back then, it was the grainy film and all that shit. And it was just, something about it struck me like, man, that just don't, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that from that moment on, the first time I seen that clip, I was intrigued by all that shit then all of a sudden. But I had seen UFO when I was real little. Like 6 years old, me and a whole bunch of us, my family, They was out. We was in DeVore, out on this back road. They lived in the country. It's not so country now, but back then it was. It was way in this back road, and this fucking thing come flying over treetop level, and like my uncles and my stepdad and my cousins, and there was a whole bunch of people out there when this thing come flying over, and somebody ran in the house and got other people and come out, so there ended up being like 10, 15 people that witnessed this thing. But I was only like 6 years old, and it was shaped like a football, and it had like windows and these lights that was going around it like this, and it just cruised over real slow, treetop level, and we was all just like, oh my god, and it just like went off into the horizon and disappeared real slow, like about blimp speed.
That slow?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like just real slow cruising, man. We was all just like, holy shit. But back then, of course, you'd have to have a fucking zzz, click, click, zzz, click.
What is that?
Them old cameras that you'd have to take a picture and wind it, take a picture and
film?
wind it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of course, nobody carried that shit around back then.
Let me ask you, the aliens that you think are out there, do you think they're more like Predator? You remember that movie Predator? Mm-hmm. Alien versus Predator kind of thing? Not Alien versus Predator,
right.
but Predator.
I think there's all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's the one that they portray in the regular movies as Take Me to Your Leader, and the Predator ones that are like low-key barbaric?
Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't there be?
Now that I find I'm a little skeptical about that, because why haven't there been people that have died from them, whatever.
Who's to say there hasn't? You know how many missing people there are in this world?
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, though, like the missing people.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
I chalk that up to trafficking.
They wouldn't come here and just obliterate us.
Maybe this is hell right now.
They would come here, and if they're a hunter, they would hunt. They wouldn't, just like we do. We don't go out and shoot every deer out in the woods, because then there wouldn't be no more deer. You got to selectively take them. And if they're intelligent, that's exactly what they're doing. And maybe we are food to them. We're as compared to any other being that would be out there to get here from some other place, whether it be wormhole or however they do it, they're way more advanced than us. And
right.
And I've heard things about that way back in the very beginning, that some alien source came here and set up some sort of system that actually protects us from those kind. That like some of these experiences that we're having are ghosts, that we think are ghosts, is this system bringing you hear this knock in the back of the room, and you go to the back of the room and this thing goes by, because it scans everything all the time, and it's constantly moving and doing all this shit that we don't know about. But if it comes through and we're there, we get like radiation poisoning, which is what some of these people report, and all this kind of thing. Now, I'm not saying I believe this. What I'm saying is this is somebody, some whistleblower has said that this is what's going on, and this is what a lot of these orbs are that we see. It's this defense system, and that has a lot to do with that Skinwalker Ranch.
I don't know what that is. That sounds scary. Now let me ask you, because I find this really intriguing. How can you believe in all these conspiracies, right? Of system. I'm not saying you do, but systems, Bigfoot, things like that, and also believe in God. I don't see how those two can intertwine. I don't see how you can believe in both. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because God created all things.
I knew you were gonna go there. I knew you were gonna stick to that. But
and he just created this and set forth the motion. He don't like everybody. See, like I made an example earlier. My buddy's daughter got cancer, and of course he prayed, and they did things, and she went and she beat it. Okay?
God bless.
Right. So this other somebody's daughter had cancer, and they prayed, and they went and did their treatments, and she died. Now, that sounds to me like God gave special treatment one kid over another. Well, that doesn't happen. God set it in motion and stepped back and gave us free will. And what we make happen and what happens is what happens. It ain't have now the angels, the demons, and all the other entities that are here, there, and whatever else, because humans and elephants and these animals wasn't the only things created. There's all kinds of shit we don't even know about in all these other heavens. There's supposed to be 7 heavens. There's these different realms that these creatures reside in, and some of them can come to ours. And where was I going with that?
I see what you're saying.
So God's not out there, being favoritism to one or the other. That's all these other things that are making things happen and intervene and here and
Wait,
whether it be good or bad.
So you're saying you don't believe that God has my entire timeline planned out, and you think that it's him just stepping back. I actually hold the opposite view of you. I think that
whether or not now, because he is the beginning and the end, and he does know our whole timeline. Right. But that doesn't stop any of these other things from interfering.
That's something you might think is interference. I think God has already.
Well, sure,
played
it's
it,
already right.
Like it's already written. Do you get what I'm saying? In my
But
opinion.
then it wouldn't be free will, then, would it?
I think that's just a social construct that society. We don't have free will. I truly don't believe that. We have
free will, meaning
you have the ability to think whatever in your mind.
Right. That's
I guess, but
and how you treat others, and you know what I mean. If you're an evil sumbitch, then you're an evil sumbitch. That's free will. Like you can not love God. You can love God, but if you don't, then at the end, then there's consequences to that.
So I think when I think about, I totally understand what you're saying, and that makes a lot of sense. But when I think about free will, I don't think any of us have real free will, because the country has boundaries, right? If you're a mean son of a bitch, that might land you in jail. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we have the ability to have free will, but I don't really know how to say it. If we had free will, I think we'd be a third world country. Like,
well, I'm not talking about. I'm talking spiritually, not necessarily physically.
All right. Okay.
I mean, you're free will spiritually, because you know what I mean. You like I said, you either love God or you don't. You know what I mean? And there again, I don't think he's going favoritism to this person, to that person, because at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? And I think even the evil person, when they die, they get a chance. We all go to the same place, and you get to meet Jesus, and then from there, you get to see how fucked up you was and what you did to everybody, and you feel their pain, you feel yours, you feel their joy that you gave them, you feel the joy that you've had. You do a whole life review, and then you go, well, either you want to be here, or
right, you
can go hit that dark spot. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
So does
I'm gonna find out.
So knowing that, hopefully, much decades and decades and decades from now, right? But does that make you live life differently? Knowing the potential, whatever those struggles might be, internally or externally, financially, whatever the case may be, does that make you move differently in this world? Knowing that you're going
unfortunately, it doesn't.
So how can you not practice what you preach? To me,
I don't know.
Makes sense.
It doesn't.
That's concerning. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Sorry. That's concerning how aware of it you are, right? Because
right.
I honestly do agree with you to where you will meet Jesus, have a whole review, understand the feelings that you cause on others, etc. But how can you not see the world a little differently, knowing how much love you have for Jesus and knowing it's either one of the two, heaven or hell?
Yeah, I don't.
How does that not influence your current choice making?
I just discussed this with your mom. I've got issues that I have to go get worked out professionally, and I don't understand that. That's one of the things that I need to work out. The question you just asked me, that's one of the struggles I have. Like for instance, I told her, why is it that I like I unconditionally love my pets. But I don't have that same feeling for my children. My mom and my dad are dead, and I don't miss them whatsoever. They've been dead for almost 2 years, and I could care less. Why am I fucked up like that? I shouldn't feel like that.
You know we're live?
Huh?
You know we're live?
Am I what?
You know we're live?
I don't care.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm just saying that's some shit that's why am I like that? I don't understand that. That's fucked up to me.
I think it has everything to do with, I mean, you know your childhood, you know how you were treated.
It was fucked up, and there's some shit that I need to work out, and there's, you know what I mean? I got some fucked up problems that bringing back to the question of how can I do that? I don't know, because I'm just now starting to figure out that I have these problems.
I think you've always been aware. You speak so fluidly about it.
Nah,
that doesn't sound like someone who's just finding out about.
Maybe I knew, but I didn't know that I need to deal with it, or like, I don't know, like I like
somebody must.
Maybe I was just scared to go to a psychiatrist to talk about it. Maybe to get it off my chest. Maybe, you know what I mean?
So I was just gonna say, I think maybe being around certain people they probably helped you realize that. Is that what you're saying? Cause
yeah, I guess.
Maybe
in conversations in the last probably.
That's good.
Whatever.
Whoever those people are, that's good. But I mean, it sounds like you're taking it to heart.
Obviously, I want to better myself for myself and for the people around me. You know what I mean? Because I'll be the first one to tell you I'm a fucking asshole sometimes, dude. Like why certain things I let fucking bug me to the point. You know what I mean? Like, I got issues, man. Like, I don't know why, but you know what I mean. But I try not to be. For the most part, I think I'm a fairly nice guy. You know what I mean? But damn, I do have my moments. You know what I mean?
Do you believe in therapy at all? Because it's just so fascinating how
I don't know, because I've never I've seen and heard about all these other people, like even the dude on Rock 107, you know what I mean, the morning guy, he's like, yeah, dude,
you're talking about Dan
Stansberry, yeah,
my guy,
yeah, he's like, I fucking went and took therapy, and it was amazing. You know what I mean? So I've never done it, so I can't tell one way or another. That's what I'm saying. I think I need to go and work some shit out, and then that I might come out of that.
So my next question is, do you
non-angry?
Want to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I've got anger issues that even though I don't want to be an angry person, there's certain shit triggers me, and it shouldn't. I shouldn't be mad. I shouldn't hold anger like I do for so long that something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man.
That's so. I feel like you just opened it, and I don't know you, but from the outside looking in, I felt like that was a door you just opened, and understanding. Sure, you might not understand where your emotions are coming from and the way you're feeling, but I think that's a really big step to say, I know I have anger issues. That sounds so cliche, but I mean, it really is a step. You should also know that if you are trying to do therapy isn't a one size fits all, right? Therapy isn't to check your boxes of, okay, I feel a lot better. It's really to understand where your emotions
That's
originate.
Exactly it. I don't want to go in and check boxes. I want to go in and find out what's broken and fix it.
So that's another thing. That's kind of what I was hinting at with that beginning statement. Therapy isn't always about fixing, right? Because the type of pain you're talking about sounds like it's like deep-rooted, and we all have like deep-rooted pain that we might not be able to dig up, but understanding the origin of it, right, and then you get to the point where you're like, okay,
because like you say, you may never be able to fix it
exactly,
but at least you can understand it.
And having understanding with your emotions is probably the best thing. Like, when I got into therapy, that was the best thing I could have ever done. I was kind of like you. Like, my parents don't really know me. I'm older now, so my parents didn't really understand my personality until I got a little older. And, with the accident, I have a lot of resentment and anger built up, but I understand where those emotions are coming from. And I think if I wouldn't be in therapy, that I'd be spiraling right now and probably picking up some type of, like, drug habit, or I probably would have committed suicide.
I tell you, one of the biggest things for me to overcome so far was the fact that I am me and nobody else is like me.
Unapologetic.
I can't expect somebody like, because I know how to build houses, because I know how to set up all this shit, because I know how to do that, and I know how to do this. That don't mean somebody else knows how to fucking do it. And I shouldn't expect them to understand me because I know it and they don't. And I'll be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, what? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, yeah. I have a big problem. I had, that's one of the things, like nobody's the same and they are who they are. Because, some shit my brother does, and I'm sure this feeling's mutual. You know what I mean? I'll be like, motherfucker, why in the fuck do you do that shit? You know what I mean? Like, I would, here's a prime example, and it's just something stupid, and it's, whatever, but it's just something stupid. Like, he knows that I scrap, right? So in conversation the other day, he's like, yeah, man, I had these big 2 fucking mixer things, like real fancy, and hugging this and that and the other, and he goes, man, I threw all that shit away. He goes, I could barely move my trash can. And I'm like, they had cords and motors in them, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, I scrap, don't you? Oh, I didn't even think about that. And a few years ago, that would have pissed me off. You motherfucker, I scrap, that's how I make my fucking money. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Why can't you think of me? I would have thought of you. But you know what? That's fucking who he is. He's just that person. He don't think like that. He don't think like me. See what I'm saying?
No, yeah, 100%.
And I had a big problem with that. Like, why don't you think like me? Why are you an idiot?
I'm the exact same way.
Why are you a fucking idiot? Well, it's not an idiot. It's just we're on another level. We're, you know what I mean? We're over here and they're over here. And that's just who we are and that's who they are. Yeah. And you can't change that.
It's so hard to implement. Why are you mad
about it?
Yeah. But it's hard to implement because we feel like our feelings should be valid regardless of who it is, what the situation is, small to them, big to me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I will say, though, you just said a whole month's worth of sessions there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you were in therapy, you just said some of the stuff everything you said is stuff I'm working on.
No
like
shit.
That. It's
that's crazy.
It's hard. It's hard. You know what I mean?
Is.
So if you decide, I think you're going to be just fine. But I'm proud of you for realizing that because a lot of us don't get recognition for our feelings, and a lot of us don't understand what one another is going through.
And what was really weird is I sent your mom this video that I think it was my brother sent me, and it was like Gen X kids. This is why we are who we are, and it's like I forget how long it is, and it was like. Just watching that video gave me revelations like, wow, dude, no wonder. Like, certain things in that video, man, it's like, well, no shit, man. And that was like, but yeah, I don't know.
Or this generation, Gen Z's generation is fucking dumb, not handy. And it's like, they're not like our other generations.
Andy Edwards says, speaking some truth.
Yeah. Therapy is the best thing I could have ever done. I'm a pretty self-centered kind of bitch, and I'm okay with that, but I'm pretty angry a little bit too, and so doing it was the best thing I could have ever done. It took some work, it takes leg work, you know what I mean, but I love how we just completely got off track from the supernatural
talking shit about shit. That's how we do it around here.
But it's really, I think you're making a really good step forward because just like education, there's no age limit on learning. You can say the same thing for emotions. There's no age limit on wanting to be better, period. Mm-hmm. Intellectually. That's just how I feel. And if you're not willing to better yourself, then what the fuck are you doing?
And same thing goes with my relationships. You know what I mean? I'll have nothing basically but fucked up relationships. You know what I mean? Ever since I got out of school, I've been from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And now I'm like... it's like I got this wall up here and I got this other person that's this great person, the greatest person in the world. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Put the brick back. Like, oh, what? Huh? Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Put the brick back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's bullshit. And I had one of my buddies actually had me come to the realization on some of that aspect the other day I had a big long talk, and it was like, wow.
You might be in love.
He kind of fucking put me in another viewpoint of the situation. You know what I mean? Like,
that's another thing. Sorry to interrupt you. Gaining perspective from the right people, obviously, it really is a game changer. So think about everything that you're saying. You're willing to listen to other people, the right people. You're understanding your emotions and knowing that sometimes you're a dick or that you're a good person, whatever the case may be. You know, the situation was big to me with my brother scrapping, but it was nothing to him, and I was pissed. You're making a lot of good. When I first met you, I thought you were such an asshole.
Oh, I am.
I mean, it's just weird how much it sounds like you're letting me, like, we're having a real, genuine conversation.
Sure.
I just can't see you struggling outside of, like, this live show we have right now with, like, the brick wall or the triggering. You sound really level-headed, but I like this side of you.
I mean, like I said, I'm the first to admit I'm an idiot, dude. Like, straight up. I got issues that need, that's all I can say. I don't know. Wow. I try, but it's hard.
But you hit every aspect of some of the things you feel like you're struggling. Like, you're aware. You're beyond aware, actually.
All this is probably in the last not even year. You know what I mean? I start...
Like, you're
I just step
over-aware.
back and like, wait a minute, man. Like, fuck.
Wow. That's improvement, though.
I've been, I don't know, man. I've been looking at a lot of things and myself and other religion and, like, you know what I mean? I try to look at all angles and all things before I make an opinion on certain things, Bigfoot and religion and every fucking thing else, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And the one thing back to the Bigfoot thing, which I was going to say after the whole Patty thing situation, because like I said, I was still kind of skeptical, even though I thought that one was real, because up until that point there was no evidence of anything until that dude had that. And they not only did they have the video, but they got the footprints too, and that they casted, and they're still around. You can actually go see those. But there's a new guy out on YouTube called Thinker Thunker, and he's got a book out that talks all about it. And he come up with that proportion measurements on the body and on the face. And I don't give a fuck if you're a person in a monkey suit. Your proportions are not the same as a Bigfoot. We cannot walk like a Bigfoot. So he takes those clips that people have and does his little thing and does the measurements. We're not the same as a Bigfoot. Our body ratios are not even close. Their arms, torsos, and legs are almost the same size, where our legs are longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
wait a minute.
Once I seen that, I was pretty convinced that there's something walking around in the woods. There's a forest creature out there. Period.
Okay, I hear you. But if I had to rebuttal, you said we can't walk like Bigfoot, right? What about all the Silent Hill, right? For instance, if you're familiar with Silent Hill, or Predator, or any of those movies that involve a human in special effects makeup, with all the stuff, walking a certain way, having to mimic an animal. You don't think?
No, because they've tried it, and even Thinker Thunker done a test with himself. For us to have the gait that they have, the way they walk, we look fucking ridiculous trying to do it, because their legs are on this weird 90-degree angle from their this to their where their knee bends. It's like a 90 when they walk. This weird gait, and when they do find the tracks, they're over 4 foot apart. There ain't no way we can do that.
You put some stilts on somebody? Put them in a...
Well, what I'm saying is, yeah, you could do that.
I'm just saying, if I had to rebuttal.
Right. You could in that aspect, but then what I'm talking about is actual video.
Okay.
That he's measuring with.
Okay.
That has actual footprints, because even if you use stilts, the footprints the foot of a Bigfoot's different than a human or different than some block of wood that you have down there to pretend like it's a foot. They got this thing called a mid-tarsal break, and their foot bends in the middle where ours don't. How they walk, it's this weird thing, and on the tracks that shows up.
So if there was a genie here right now that you could ask one question about any type of celestial life, sorry, that's the chair doing that, I'm just heavy and I'm twisting it, about anything about celestial life, what do you think that one question might be? Just celestial life.
Terrestrial life?
I think I was saying
like
it wrong.
Here?
Like any kind of life out there. What do you think that one question might entail? It could be as simple as, is Bigfoot real? Or
I probably wouldn't ask that question because I pretty much think they're real.
Okay.
But that wouldn't be significant. I would have to come up with a good question because I already think them are real. So
okay.
I mean, there's enough evidence for me that proves that they're real. So
it doesn't have to be. You could give me like a roundabout.
Yeah, I feel you. That's a good question, man. I would.
One question. That's all. That's your only shot. It's loaded, huh?
Yeah, that's a tough one, boy.
Well, my question would be, are the hands that I think I feel and the knocks that I hear at my door in those particular moments, are they genuinely real or is it in my head? That would be my question. Because that would tell me from there, okay, if I go out into the woods and I know my gut's telling me something's out there, then I know it's out there. Because those knocks on my door were real. The hand on my shoulder is real. Other stuff has got to be real. Because your gut knows. You know? That would be my question.
Well, see, there again, I believe all that shit. So...
So, okay.
That you know what I mean? I feel, you know, like I said, there's angels, there's demons. You know what a demon is? You know where the origin of a demon's from?
Jezebel? I don't know.
The origin of a demon is when the fallen angels came and had made with the daughters of man and had the Nephilim, right? Them wasn't heavenly, what they call it? They wasn't of heaven. They was bad intent. So when they died, their souls wasn't allowed in heaven. They was stuck here, which becomes demons. That's how they possess your soul or other people's bodies. And this is how, when you read in the Bible, the Nephilim was there before the flood and there after the flood, but yet none of them was on the ark. How is that possible? You're demons.
Do you believe in soul possession? Have you looked? Do you feel like you, in your lifetime, have looked someone in the eye that, honest to God, that you feel was or has been?
I used to hang out at a dude's house that had a dude that come over, was a straight up devil worship Satanist, fucking kill the chickens and put the blood out, and fucking brought this painting over that he had to put a spell on it. Actually fucked this dude's mom up until they got the painting out of the house type shit. Like, this dude was the real deal. Yes.
So, based on your experience with that guy, do you believe what he was worshiping, right, was completely negative?
Yes.
Or did you... Okay. No
100%.
Okay.
He was completely 100% against God and everything that God stood for.
Okay. So, those who practice atheism, maybe not that...
This wasn't an atheist. He was a straight Satanist.
Oh, okay. So there is a difference between an atheist and a Satanist.
Atheists don't believe in God or the devil. They don't believe in either one.
So you're saying Satanists, what they practice is completely evil. You've never heard.
No, there's different Satanists.
Okay. So that was going to be my follow-up question.
Some of them are just against God, so to say. Like they're like Mother Nature, blah blah blah.
Okay, but do you find that evil regardless? Because if it's not,
I mean, I guess in a way, because if you don't believe in God and you're not with God, then what are you?
Okay.
I mean, each to his own, I guess. Sure. But for me, it would be because if you believe in Jesus, then
there can be none.
Right. And then there's the actual Satanists. Now, I don't think I don't want to call those other groups Satanists. They just don't believe in God, or they don't. They're like, they're weird. It ain't like, they're like God's the bad one. Oh. And the devil was the one that came and in other words, if it wasn't for Satan, we'd have been standing in the damn garden naked and stupid forever. Duh. No knowledge. Mm-hmm. Satan was the one in their eyes that came and taught us everything. Look, this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God said you're going to die if you eat from the tree, and you ate from the tree and you didn't die. See? He's the bad one, and they're kind of on that page. Then there's the actual Satanists that they worship the devil like we worship God, and they fucking sacrifice and do all that weird shit. And them motherfuckers, they're nuts, man. And that dude was one of those.
So you felt the end. You felt his energy.
Oh, dude, when he walked in the house, it was like, And sometimes if he was there when you walked in and wanted to head down to the basement, you could just feel it, boy. Heavy, like that graveyard. Same shit. Kind of just, you could just feel that fucking presence of evil in there when that dude was around.
That had to have given you the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, and he would always come up to me, "Hey, J-Lo, you want to worship the devil?" I'm like, fuck no, get away from me. Oh my God. Why would I want to worship the devil? He loses in the end. That used to piss him off. Like, whatever, bro. Get away from me with that dumb shit.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You ain't worshiping nobody for that fact like that. The fuck you mean?
I was going to say maybe having a Satanist on the podcast would be an interesting conversation, but it's just my thinking.
And then there's my ex, the first partner I had, he was like, I guess they call it a Luciferian.
Never heard of
Which is, that's a weird thing too, because like Lucifer was the morning star, right? And so they're like love and light, and they're kind of the same thing with like, he was the one that brought the knowledge and all this, even though they believe in Jesus. It's a weird fucking thing that they do. I'm not even sure I understand it all, but they're like the good dark side.
I don't know how there's any good to dark.
Yeah, I don't, and I don't know, but okay. Whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's just another stupid thing is what it is. Yeah. Another thing to keep your mind occupied from where it's supposed to be is what it is.
I was just going to say, there always has to be some other extreme to good. Like, it's odd. Always some other extreme.
Gary says the ark was too holy for the demons. Now, see, I personally think there was a whole nother thing to the ark, if you're talking about the Ark of the Covenant, or you're talking about the ark as in Noah's Ark.
What about?
He's probably talking about the ark as far as Noah's Ark, but
I would think so.
The Ark of the Covenant, now I think there was more than one of those, and it's quite clear that it was a power source that they used in the pyramids, because the sarcophagus in the Great Pyramid, the inside dimensions are the exact dimensions of the outside of the Ark of the Covenant.
I'm not familiar with the Ark of the Covenant.
The little thing that they carried around, it was this golden box that God had them made with the two seraphim on the top of it.
Okay.
And it was just, and what's his name marched it around Jericho 7 days in a row and all this shit, and then the trumpets blew and they brought the walls down and went in and took over the city and all that shit. Well, the Ark of the Covenant, they used it in several different incidences, and it's supposed to have it's supposed to be God inside the box, basically. It's the throne. Okay. God comes down and sits where the two cherubim, it's his seat. It's his heavenly seat is what they say. And only certain people's allowed to even carry this fucking thing. It's on poles and all this shit, but in my opinion, it was the power source, because when Moses took off from the pyramids, he took the ark with him and he took the slaves, and at first the Pharaoh was like, yeah, get your slaves, get the hell out of here, fuck these plagues, go. Well, then all of a sudden Pharaoh changed his mind and started chasing them. Why? Why? Because Moses took off with their power source. He didn't give a fuck about them slaves. He wanted that power source, which I think that sat in the thing, and they used them pyramids, which was all around the world, for power and communication and God only knows what else. There's a lot we don't know that they're lying about of how the ancient world used to run.
You think they're lying?
Absolutely.
Or they just don't know?
Nah, they know. I think they know now. They're lying. Especially the dude of antiquities over in Egypt. That dude's so full of shit. It's ridiculous. He's the one that's in charge over there. You can't go over there and do nothing. I can't think of his name, but he's a dick. And I've seen plenty of interviews where people's talked about how, you know, they go over there to do shit and they'll find some shit and they'll cover it up because it don't go with the narrative. Like, one of the things that I always scream about, because everybody's all, you know, the aliens built the pyramids, the Nephilim built the pyramids, these guys did the pyramids. We don't understand how they built the pyramids. And I've seen several videos, and it's quite simple. They formed and poured the motherfuckers.
Right. Oh,
that's how they did it. They didn't take these big ass blocks up the river. You know, they don't have ships, dude. They had these little boats. They couldn't carry these fucking things. So what they do, they made wooden forms. They had a bucket brigade, all these dudes bringing this shit up, mixing it up, the type of cement that whatever it was back then that they used, which is all the materials from around there. Boom.
I've never heard that
simple.
perspective.
I mean, it doesn't take magic. It doesn't take aliens. It takes a bunch of people getting together and building this big fucking thing real easy. They've already proven that they wasn't tombs. There's no bodies ever found in them. Yep.
Beautiful. Sorry, I've just never seen deer that close
coming
before.
In. They've never found. They're not tombs. They're
That's pretty damn simple. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Oh my gosh, that's so true, because they do try to make it this big spectacle.
Right, and it ain't. I mean,
I've always had
that's
that
what I was going to
feeling.
say. They wasn't slaves that built them either. It was paid workers. They found the fucking where they stayed, like all the workers and shit, and they wasn't slaves. They was living nice, eating and fucking whole 9 yards, man. It was, but the narrative, they still. Well, we don't understand how they're built. And I've seen this guy with videos, which was weird because I watched this video and he goes, I'm taking this video down in 48 hours. And I've seen other videos like that, and it's like they get you so you can go in there and watch it and shit. I watched this video and he had all these video of behind where, like, they always show you the front of the pyramids and this part. He's where all this shit where they don't normally show you, and you can clearly see where the wood forms is up against the cement, where the cement smushed out, you know what I mean? And they pulled it off after it hardened somewhat, and you can see where they shaped some of it after they pulled it off, and it was still somewhat soft.
Basic
where they could,
architecture, yeah.
you know what I mean? Oh my God. Like, duh.
That's
and I mean,
funny.
you can see where it's poured. You can literally, like on the ground where they laid that basalt ground at. He goes to the edge of it and he's like, look, there's all this rocks and all this rubbish that was down here. Do you think that they scored all these rocks and carved that out? Fuck no, they poured right over it. That's how it's all level and everything and perfect.
Yeah. I actually don't disagree.
You don't need some great saw to cut that shit when you're forming and pouring it. And then that explains why every one of them's so tight. Because they made this block, they let it dry. Then they formed this one and poured it right up against that one. Did the three sides, poured it, boom, it's smack dab right up against it. No gap, nothing. Perfect.
Yeah.
Gravity will level it out every time to a perfect level top.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about that.
And that once I seen it, I can't unsee it, and I say fuck all them other theories and everything out. In my opinion, that's how it was done, and nobody will ever tell me any different now that I've seen it. It's like one of them, I don't give a fuck what you say, bro. Let's go there and I'll show it to you. But because it's hard to find, because, well, that's what I was going to say. That dude damn sure pulled that video in 48 hours. I was like, oh, because I was trying to show people. And I was like, man, dude. But there's this other video that I watched, and it's called Pyramid 2000K, I think it's called, or something like that. And it's like a 2.5-hour documentary. And this blew my fucking mind when I watched this, because it explained how they figured it all out as far as the mathematics and everything. Mm-hmm. And according to this thing, these guys were sitting there and the water drop hit and they noticed that the water drop was the same size every time it hit, which ended up being I guess like a centimeter, basically. Well, they took that and basically made their math system out of that and figured out geometry, and it started with that, though. And the dude explains the whole, from the very beginning of being kind of stupid to how they figured it out. Then they figured out geometry, the stars, and all this shit, and then built them pyramids. And I'm like, wow. And that's what that was the first one that I seen, and I was like, well, that makes sense. Bucket Brigade, they poured it. I was like, wow. And then when I seen that dude that actually went there and took videos and showed, was like, look under here, look back behind here, look right here where you can see where the form was, look there, look here. I was like, holy shit. Like, it's all right there. I mean, you can see it. Like, if you know anything about cement, it's the evidence is plain as day. It's just like, oh my God. But that's not the narrative they're wanting to run. They want to keep everybody not knowing that it was just that simple, basically. It's like, these guys are fucking stupid.
I don't disagree with that one.
Yeah, Gary said Noah's Ark, yeah.
I can't disagree with that one. Pretty straightforward. I always wondered when, in history class, they would discuss that. That would be a whole chapter and shit like that. And I just never understood why it was such a big thing to study. Like, oh my God, it's just a pyramid. I don't really understand the significance behind it. I know that's probably so ignorant to say, but I don't.
But what's weird is the alignments and all that shit, dude. Well, that's what's crazy. Like, the base of the pyramid is the circumference of the Earth. And
maybe that's just, I don't know. Maybe that's just a fluke.
But there's more than just that because from the base to the tip is like from the Earth to the moon. There's like all these measurements that coincide, and the three pyramids are the same as Orion. The three stars of Orion. Mm-hmm. They line up with them, and man, it's just all that crazy shit.
I mean, well, when you put it that way, maybe I'm not too familiar with it, but I'm sure that maybe could be intentional. But my whole thing with, the time back in the pyramids is like the civilization, how they managed. I mean, looking at those carved out, almost underground cities and towns, I mean, that's incredible engineering, personally. But the pyramids is incredible engineering too. Right. I get what we're on the same page there, but my whole thing is like civilization, how they were able to thrive and survive. I think that's such an insane thing under extreme
there
conditions.
Again, I think that was
the chair.
I think I honestly think we're not the first ones as far as civil. I think that when that shit was going on, that there's more to the story. There was somebody here that was already had the technology past what we already have, and something happened and we lost it, or they hid it, or I don't know. Because you can get into that with the. Have you ever checked into that mud flood shit and the orphan train? So somewhere back in the late 1800s, something happened. There was all these like big fires in all these big cities like Chicago, and like had these major fires, and then all of a sudden there was all these fucking kids that came out of nowhere. That is a rabbit hole. Long story short, all these kids went out west on these trains. They called them orphan trains. They got all these kids from the city, sent them out to the farmlands and out west and out there and all this shit. And then there's buildings that are 2 stories down that are, you know, at street level. You can go 2 stories down and there's windows and shit that's blocked up, doorways, old sidewalks, and not just one place. This is all over all different cities all over the world. Like, it's a crazy rabbit hole to go down. Mud flood, and they're 2 different things, but they kind of go to the same. They're like right, and they say like this Tartarian. You ever hear of that?
No.
The Tartarian period.
No.
Yeah, there's this. All 3 of those are kind of like this thing, because they claim that these major cities that we come to, like, and you think about it, you know, the Wild Wild West, right? They're on horses and you know, buggies and shit, and they're building these ruggedy ass wooden shacks in these western towns and shit. Okay, where the fuck did all these big major cities come from? They didn't. If they're building shacks, all of a sudden there's these huge fucking cities. They're saying that they was already there, and these people in the late 1800s, after this catastrophe happened, then there was only a few people left, and these orphan kids that they inherited or some weird shit, that these cities was already built, because they're these beautiful churches and you know, courthouse buildings and all this shit. Well, meanwhile, in the real world, they're building shit out of rough cut lumber and their horses and shit on the roads, and
so almost like a secret society.
Yeah, well, and then like for, I think it was was it the London Fair? I think it was over there. Back in that time period, they built this huge ass building completely out of glass, right?
Okay.
And they said it took them so many, like a year to build this building to get it ready for this World Fair thing that was going on over there. Well, somebody fucked around and did the math and found out that the factory that they said that made the glass for this building wasn't even big enough to hold the product to make enough for the place, let alone to make enough product to keep up with it. They didn't have enough building and employees to make the amount of glass that they said went into this building, and or the facility to store it.
So almost like a front.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of that ties into that. It's a weird deal, boy. It's quite interesting, because there's some shit that you're like, wow, that is kind of like, like these guys are running around on horses and building shacks, but there's these beautiful stone carved, beautiful buildings, like, and then in them churches they say, like, you know, them big stained glass windows and beautiful things, them round ones with all the, well, they say that them are supposedly some sort of a thing like the pyramids, that they had an energy, that these old churches, because of the towers on them and shit, that they did the same thing, the Tesla thing, the energy, that they disassembled those in that same period when all that shit went down. Which, like I say, I don't. This is just all this weird theory shit. You know, I don't know about all that, but when you start looking into it, some of it's kind of like, wow, man, that
makes a little sense.
That's something to kind of, you know, it makes your head scratch. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I believe any of it, but there is evidence. I've seen the pictures of, like I said, where they're doing work in this building or whatever. They go to build a new building beside one, and they dig it out, and 2 fucking stories down in the dirt, there's windows and doors that have been blocked up. You know what I mean? What the hell is that doing 2 stories below street level?
Yeah.
That's weird. You know what I mean?
Not really. I don't think so. I think that there are plenty of, I don't know exactly, maybe the Middle East somewhere, maybe like Rome, out in those places where they've built over entire cities to preserve in forms of preservation. But I'm pretty sure the example you're talking about was not for preservation. I think is what you're getting at. Okay, I don't find that too suspicious.
I mean, it's one thing to build over top of it, but we're talking about the same building. I'm talking about this building. You go down to the street level, and you go in this building, but that same building 2 stories down has windows, not just one window all the way down, and another story windows, and then doorways that have been blocked up because it's under the ground now. So what
was there?
Why is there 2 stories buried? You know what I mean? Why?
Okay. Never mind. Okay.
And like I said, it's not just one place. It's like this is like all over the world. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird because they'd be digging up, like I said, to build a new building next door or something and clearing it all out, and or redoing a road or something, and they're digging out and fucking. And even like New York, where you go there and they like you see them half windows and all, and you got to go down the steps. They claim that that's part of all that. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I mean that.
Interesting.
But and then that orphan train thing, I just watched another thing not too long ago on that, where apparently they was just going to people's houses and taking their kids. They would just go and be like, well, your daughter scored such and such in school, so we're going to take her and get her in this special fucking thing and all this, and just take their kid and ship them off. And I don't find that hard to believe. They'd never hear from them again.
I don't find that hard to believe at all.
Right. And that was part of that shit or whatever. And then there was, with that World's Fair thing, and back then too, you used to be able to go to the World's Fair and go to these rooms, and there would be aisles and aisles of babies in incubators. Like these premature babies and shit. Like you go look at it, the fair, like, I don't know what, there's something weird with that too. Has something to do with that. I think that orphan shit there, it turns out, because they, like, all these kids ended up out of nowhere, and then they, like, where all these kids come from, kind of a thing. And then they was taking them, and then, I don't know, that's a weird one, man, that orphan train.
All of this has been scary. It's all scary to me. This is all really, really, really scary to me. Okay.
Damn, it's almost, we never did take a break. I guess I didn't have the halftime loaded, or we didn't hear it. We beasted it out and went 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay, that's who was texting me. Heck yeah. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot. You know what I mean?
Like, we unpacked it, didn't we? We opened the box and pulled that shit out.
We're halfway there. There's plenty more we could discuss.
Yeah, some packing peanuts down there. Some more Amazon shit in the bottom of the box.
Yeah, plenty more to talk about. I have a lot on my mind that I would love to ask about, because I've never heard you talk about politics on here, and I need to hear your views on that, especially with, you know, the recent assassination that we had. I really want to hear what you have to say about that.
Which one, Charlie?
Yeah, I think that was the only recent one, right?
It's hard to say these days.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up, but that particular one. Maybe if you'd have me back sometime soon, we could discuss all the politics stuff, but I gotta hear where you stand on that. And trafficking and stuff like that, you know, like...
Long story short...
Epstein files. All that crazy shit.
I pretty much put all politicians as pieces of shit. I don't give a fuck what side they're on. They're all liars. And... I don't know. I don't know. I look for the truth, if there's any, but I don't trust any of them.
So you don't think any political party or form of law,
I mean, because
best interest?
Ever since I can remember, the first president I remember growing up and then realizing what was really going on, what the president was Jimmy Carter. And then realizing it's kind of what the political system was, Ronald Reagan got voted in. And I was like, wait a minute. This is a fucking Hollywood actor. How the hell did he get to become a president? That's kind of weird. And then I started inquiring about how do they pick the president? Oh, well, you get these, 8 Democrats, and you get these 8 Republicans, and they go up there in the debate, and it gets down to these 2. Well, what do you mean it gets down to these 2? Well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that's kind of weird, but okay. So then I start paying attention, and the next couple of things, it's like, well, it's going to end up being between such and such and such and such. Well, how do you know that? Well, because they got the most money and they got the most people backing them and this and that and the other.
Right.
So the debates really don't have nothing to do with the people. So what you're telling me is they're handing me a turd and a piece of shit and going pick from that. That's what you're doing? Oh, okay. So when I realized that, I was like, well, that's bullshit. That's not a democracy at all. They're bringing you down. Your choice, when them 8 people get up there for the first time to debate, everybody in the whole United States already knows who the last 2 people is going to be. So that's a bullshit system. Because the way it's bullshit system is because you got all these people, dudes that are paying for everything. I forget what the hell they call them. Not endorsement. There's a term that they used for them fuckers. If they get rid of those, and they can't put money in these pockets where these politicians, well, yeah, if you pay for help, donate to my campaign, I'll do this for you and this and all that. They got to get rid of that shit, because that's what determines who's got the most money. Ends up determines who the last 2 people are. It don't have nothing to do with what you feel like the right person is. It's these 2 assholes. They go, well, pick who's best, and they're both turds.
I agree.
And on that note, since then, ever since Ronald Reagan, every fucking single president up till the one we have has all fucking said the same goddamn lies all the way through. Every one of them. They all tell you we're going to fix the economy. We're going to do this. We're going to lower taxes. And not a fucking one of them's done it. Not one of them. They don't do what they say they're going to do. I thought maybe there was the Great White Hope and Bad Orange Man, but he's compromised by Israel, and he ran on draining the swamp. Well, drain the swamp, dude. Do something about those Epstein files. I don't give a fuck if you're in them or not. If you're in them, take your ass to the goddamn corner of the town and get up in that tree, bro. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not for this person or for that person. I'm for the truth and what's best for us.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean? I don't like some things Trump does. I do like some things Trump does. I didn't like some things the last president did. There were some things he did, and so on. They're all like that, though. You know what I mean? Some of them's got good. All of them's got good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. But none of them seem to do what really is necessary for us. At the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're all still fucking broke. No matter who's president. It's just the same old blah, 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 blah. Let's fucking fight. What blew my mind, that really blew my mind is how, when I was seeing on Facebook, the people that was actually fighting and arguing and spending all that negative energy on a fucking halftime show of the fucking NFL. Are you fucking serious?
That was crazy.
Are you fucking serious? Who cares?
You know people in the United States have to find something to be a little polarized about every month. It has to be something. And that just happened to be that thing.
But I'm saying the small-mindedness of everybody to let a halftime show get you that mad, no matter which one you was watching, that you was mad at the other one. is fucking beyond even reasonable thought. Like, really. Like, you motherfuckers hate this person because they watched the NFL one, or you hate that one because they watched the fucking Turning Point one. That shit is crazy. Who cares, man? Like, people gotta lighten up with that shit. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing that I think's fucked up about the one, the people. A lot of people didn't vote for Trump. They voted against Kamala.
Right.
And those people that voted against Kamala didn't necessarily vote for Trump. They just thought that was the lesser of the two evils. But because they voted for Trump, now they're a racist, now they're a fucking communist, now they're a Nazi and shit. That shit is insane to me. I don't understand, like, I just don't get the mentality. Like, if dude was a Nazi, you wouldn't be able to say he was a Nazi. You would have your ass locked up for talking shit. You know, that's how Nazism works. They didn't take no bullshit. You didn't go with the system. They wasn't having it. I don't know, man. That shit, politics is bullshit. That's why I don't normally talk about it.
It's a business.
It is. And they got the whole world falling for the dumb shit when really we need to be focused on the real shit, which is local politicians.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely could agree with that. But like I said, the United States always has to have something to fall polarized to, to further polarize everybody. But yeah, I just wanted to know where you were at there. It's interesting. That's all.
I don't know. I think people need to stop calling all the name callings. It's all right that we don't agree on shit. If you're on this side or that, it's okay. You know what I mean? Goddamn, we can't all agree on the same things. It would suck if everybody was on one side or everybody was on the other side. It'd be a mess. We need a push and pull. But the problem with it is people don't want to talk. People don't want the truth neither.
We're at 10.
All right. I guess that means we need to get the hell out of here. I suppose. I'm still sweating, man. I've been dying all day. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Well, damn, that was a damn good show.
Yeah, I
appreciate you coming out again and being guest host.
Of course.
We're definitely going to have to do it again. Appreciate all y'all that hung out in the chat and whoever else is going to be checking it out after this live situation. Don't forget to, like, I wouldn't tell you to like, share, and comment or nothing. We're not like that type of a show. I wouldn't do that.
Thank you guys for allowing me back on the show and having me.
Yep, absolutely. And Stevie Russell next week on the show. So we got a couple people lined up. I don't know what's after that. Have to check. But the weather seems like it's going to be getting a little warmer for us. I noticed Black Hole Sun was in the security camera today. As the seasons change and the earth starts rotating back and the sun starts coming back up from the west.
Oh, okay.
As it's, going across, or from the south, I should say. And the security camera, it just started coming across to the very corner. And by the summertime, it's almost directly in the center.
Okay.
But there's a black hole. When you see the sun, there's a little black spot
I know what you're talking about,
in it on the camera. So
I
okay. Said Black Hole Sun. And there's a song, Black Hole Sun. So that's why I said that. Because that's the first time I've seen it since winter started.
So that's your inclination of like...
Yes, of good weather coming. The sun's moving back into position. It's like, yes, camping time. I'm on here.
Oh my gosh. Older I get, the more I'm a winter kind of gal.
But we don't have to go camping to go shooting. I actually have a buddy that lives on the opposite side of Carrollton from you guys, where you was, on the other side, with a big-ass property, and we can go out there and shoot all day long.
Man, I would love that.